Have you ever asked yourself, how do I back up my SQL database? In this video, I will tell you about several of the most common methods of backing up your MySQL database, such as through Amazon 3 and Linux. Using any of the systems that we will cover in today's video will be sure to alleviate time spent worrying over whether or not your website's data is secure. Hey, I'm Jacqueline from Jotform. Welcome to today's video on how to protect your website's valuable information by backing up your MySQL database. Let's go ahead and get started. But first, what is MySQL? MySQL is one of the most popular open source database management systems for the development of interactive websites. If you are someone who stores the sensitive data on your website in a MySQL database, you will want to back up the information. Doing so will ensure that it can be restored in the event of any disaster. We all know too well what it feels like when something goes wrong, and we lose everything we've created simply because we did not take the necessary backup precautions. Luckily for you, there are a variety of ways to back up MySQL data, and we aim to cover each common method in this video today. One of the most useful things we plan to show you is how you can set up an automatic backup solution to make the backup process even easier. And we will even go over options that feature MySQL's MySQLDump feature, reviewing several examples using MySQLDump, including how to back up your database to a file, server, or gzipped file sent to your email. The first method we have to share with you today is through Amazon 3. Now you can automatically back up your MySQL database to Amazon 3, a common choice for users. This automated version of the traditional manual version takes the backup of a MySQL database and moves it into Amazon 3. Another option is to back up your MySQL database using Linux. When using this method, you have the option to set it up automatically, or you can use cron to achieve the same function. Cron is a scheduling feature that you can find in the Unix/Linux operating system. If you're looking for something that offers more features, our third method will be just the ticket. Through this third option, you are able to automatically back up your MySQL database using AutoMySQLBackup, and it offers several great features like the ability to back up one or more databases, back up all of the databases found in the server, save each database as a separate file, and it will even rotate backups instead of filing them all on your hard drive. Another option that provides flexibility is MySQLDump. The MySQLDump utility comes along with MySQL, and it enables you to back up your database to a file, server, or compressed gzip file. The fifth option on our list is to back up MySQL in an XML file using PHP. The only downfall of choosing this method is that XML is not the easiest format, especially when it comes to restoring a table, but it can be easier to read than competing methods. Alternatively, you could go with our sixth choice of using PHP to back up your MySQL database. For this, what you will need to do is to execute a database backup query from a PHP file. Here is an example of using select into out file query for forming a table backup. Then, in order to restore the backup, you will need to run a load data in file query like this. Our seventh choice is to use a simple solution for backing up a large MySQL database through SSH. To do so, you will need to enable shell access within your plus control panel and select a utility like PUTTY to log into your server through SSH. If your website runs through a VPN or virtual private network, our eighth method will be best suited for your website's needs. The eighth process we suggest is to back up MySQL using the Ubuntu Linux Backup MySQL Server shell script. In the event that you have a dedicated VPS server running Ubuntu Link, you should be able to back up all of your MySQL server databases to your FTP server. Another way to go is to back up your MySQL database and web server files onto an FTP server automatically. This solution is optimal for those running their own web server, in addition to a MySQL server on a dedicated box or VPS. The benefit of using FTP or NAS backups is the superb protection they offer from data loss. To begin this process, you should back up each database with the MySQLDump command. Automate backup tasks using tar, set up a cron job, and create an FTP backup script. Now, the 10th method we have to share with you contains several steps, so I suggest that you pay close attention as we break it down. Using this method, you will be able to back up the MySQL database using phpMyAdmin. This will allow you to easily create a dump export file of your account's database. Here are the steps. To begin, follow step 1 by opening the phpMyAdmin from your web hosting control panel, like the cPanel. Next, you will select your database from the sidebar navigation panel of phpMyAdmin. Then, you will click the Export link from the top navigation bar. Step 4 is to choose the Custom option in the Export page. On this page, you will encounter two choices. Quick and Custom. You should go ahead and select the Custom option. After you have done that, you can move on to Step 5. Step 5 is to select the tables that you would like to back up. Since you are now using the Custom option, the page will allow you to select the tables that we would like to back up, but if you are unsure of what to select, go ahead and leave it as is. Doing so will ensure that all tables will be selected by default. Moving on to Step 6, go ahead and select the gzipped option for compression and keep the rest as is. If you look in the center of the page, you will notice a compression option. Selecting this will save you a lot of time and effort. Within the compression option, choose the gzipped mode, leaving the remainder as is. The final step of this process is to click the Go button, which will automatically download your backup file. The file name will appear as the name of your database, followed by .sql.gz file. Depending on the size of your database, this download may take a while. And that's it. Those were the 7 steps to backing up your MySQL database through the phpMyAdmin function. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Those were several of the ways that you can choose to securely back up your MySQL database. As a recap, here were some of the solutions we offer to back up your MySQL database: Amazon 3, Linux, AutoMySQLBackup, MySQLDump, XML, PHP, SSH, Ubuntu Linux Backup MySQL Server, FTP, and finally, phpMyAdmin. I'm sure that any one of these methods will come in handy for managing your website's valuable data. Once again, I am Jacqueline from Jotform, and I hope to see you back soon.